Alright y'all, what's good? So we're here with a new video today. Today's video is going to be a little bit different, just because I'm literally just going to be talking this whole video. Well, I guess, yeah, the last couple of videos I've just been talking, but this one's going to be different because I'm going to just be talking, because of what I'm going to be talking about, basically. So a couple of videos back, I mentioned how I wanted to take a step back from my brand and reapproach things and kind of like actually come up with a real vision and a real idea, real message, real something in mind that I wanted to get across, and just take time to work with the manufacturer and just make sure that when I come back, I'm going about things the right way and I'm going about things in a purposeful way. You know what I'm saying? So basically, in this video, I'm gonna be talking about how I've gotten to this point now with my brand, like how I started and everything, and the last couple of campaigns that I did, and then I'll talk about why I'm going to be, I guess, kind of restarting in a sense, and then I'll talk about some of the influences, brand wise, that are like kind of, not that I'm gonna base my shit around necessarily, but that I'm just gonna pull certain things from, and I'll talk about which certain things I'm gonna pull from who and all of that. And then I'm gonna create like a mood board little thing, just to kind of have like a idea of what I want my brand imagery to look like going forward. And then yeah, that'll probably be a long video, even if it is just me talking. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into that. To start at the very beginning, it was 2022. I had just graduated high school, and I wasn't necessarily sure about what I wanted to do for college. But basically, right out of high school, I had always been wanting to make pants. Like I had always sketched up clothes and stuff, and I had always like had an interest in making clothes. And my mom bought me not this sewing machine, but she bought me my first sewing machine Christmas of my sophomore year, and like I taught myself the basics, like how to sew. Like on YouTube, I learned like the basics and everything, of just how to sew, but I didn't really do any major projects with it until I graduated. So I had that for like, it was just sitting in my room for literally like 2 years before I really did anything with it. But I graduated and I was like, okay, now that I'm not hooping, because that was really my main focus in high school, was just playing basketball. I was like, okay, now that I'm not playing basketball, I might as well, you know what I'm saying, finally get a project, finally do something. And I had some ideas, so I'll show y'all the pictures and everything on here. Alright, basically, so this is the first one I ever did. This is what started it. It was July, yeah, like July 2022, summer 2022, and I had an idea. I wanted to put some flowers on some pants. I was like, fuck it, let's just do it. So I did it, and I made the post, and at this point I was just making stuff. I made this pair, and then I made like 2 other pairs. I made this Vines pair and Cherry Blossom pair, and I was just making shit, so I didn't really like have no that's what I'm saying. I was just making sure I didn't really have no ideas or anything. But then I made this one pair, which was like these fluffy white stars. But I had got the thing is, I got the idea from somebody else, and I wasn't like ripping off their idea, but like you know what I'm saying. If I showed you both pairs, you'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, I see. Obviously, this pair is very much inspired by that pair. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to like have my own. Like I wanted my shit to be original, so I didn't really think nothing of it. I kind of just made them just to make them, and then when I had posted them, everybody was like, "Oh, those are hard. Da da da. I need those. Blah 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 blah." Right? So I was like, "Okay, cool. Now that I know people are like fucking with this shit, let's try and actually make some shit." So I had this idea for like this Valentine's collection, and around that same time when I made the star pair, I had met this one guy who like was selling vintage at like the vintage swap meets and everything. And I started working at his shop, and then I was like, okay, well, can I like make these and put them in your booth for like Valentine, or for the swap meet in February, because it was like right before Valentine's Day, so everything worked out. He was like, yeah, sure, for sure. Boom, boom, boom. I made this Valentine's pair, and I guess this was like kind of like the first, because this is when I started calling the brand, like I started making it a brand, calling it Noon in August. I made a logo and everything. So I guess this is when it like actually came into fruition. But again, there wasn't really no plan behind it. I was just making stuff, and still what I was making kind of wasn't like, it was my idea, but again, it was kind of just an interpretation of the stars because like that's what was popular. So I kind of wanted to stay on that same formula. So basically, you can tell like the pink hearts was just a variation basically of the stars, and I had a lot more ideas, a lot more like creative stuff that I actually wanted to do. But I figured for like a first pair, whatever, it was a good starting point. So basically, I started that. The pink balloons, they like, I only had 5 pairs of both of them, but they sold out at the little swap meet. And then I sold 1 pair of the denim hearts. So I was like, okay, this is cool. Let's like take this for real. So then I took like, that was in February. I took like March and April off to make samples, I guess, basically just to make stuff to see what I wanted to release in the summer. And then come summertime, I released this Dallas pair. And everybody loved those. Obviously, like everybody loves anything that says Dallas on it, and I thought they were cool. They were like the Skyline pair, so I released those. Everybody loved those. I made a lot of those. I think I made like 15 or damn near 20 of those. But still, like I wasn't necessarily making like the creative things. Like yes, those were ideas that I had, but they weren't necessarily like the way I wanted to go in terms of my career. Because I felt like I was a lot more creative. I felt like I had a lot more to show for than just that. So I wanted to make more like stuff that was actually my ideas, which was the next 2 releases. I did the Waterfalls, the Vines, the Saturn bitches, and the Saber bitches. And all those, like nobody really bought any of those, but they were more what I wanted to do, like the real creative shit. And I had some cool photo shoots and shit, and I was modeling everything. And it was cool, but it didn't feel like I had a brand, if that makes sense. Like it felt like I was just making shit and just putting it out there, which is good because it is good to just make shit, just do shit and put it out. Yet it didn't feel like it was a brand. It didn't feel like people knew what it was. It didn't feel like people would look at it and be like, oh yeah, I know who that is. But I feel like if you knew, you knew. But if like, you know what I'm saying, people wouldn't look at it and be like, oh, I don't know. Either way, so I was like, all right, let's take a little time off, and basically I was gonna do a project that wrapped up all of those denim, and then I was gonna go into the next like cycle release whatever of denim, and that project is the project that I said in the last video, or said in one of the last videos, that completely fell apart around like December, November timing. So that project never came into fruition, and then recently I tried to do this stuff this year for the like the opposites to track. Obviously, y'all saw everything, or at least everything was documented on this channel, and it was cool. Again, not really a lot of people bought it. I think I had like 5 orders off the thing, and then 1 person bought stuff at the actual like release party. It just didn't feel like I was going about things in the right way, because I was trying to do a release party when I don't even really, like, I've been quiet for like a whole year really. So nobody's even really seen my shit for a year, and there's just not a lot of content. Like though yes, I was making campaigns and I was making cool campaigns. I feel like I was trying to go too big and look at the overarching view of the whole campaign, which I like to do because that's what I want to do. But I wasn't considering the fact that like I have been quiet for a year. I haven't necessarily put out any content for a year. So me just doing this super thought out campaign out of nowhere, nobody's looking for this shit. Nobody's waiting for this shit. Because there was no content prior to that, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, so that's why I'm like, all right, let's take this step back now and let's like reapproach things. Let's make sure that moving forward we have a lot of content, and we're just focused on more like building community and stuff before we try and do like those super big campaigns. And though again, that is what I really want to do, because at the end of the day, like I want to be a creative director. Like I don't want to be, and that's the thing. That's another thing that's kind of been a thing throughout the whole thing, which is why I want to work with the manufacturer now. I've had to make like every single pair of pants beforehand, like beforehand by myself, like by hand. And though I do want to be able to know how to make clothes, especially as like somebody who considers themselves a designer, somebody who considers themselves owning a clothing brand, I do want to know how to make clothes, but I don't want to be the person making your orders, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sit down every time I get an order and make things. And I think that's what's led to a lot of the space in between drops and everything. Like the creative director or even the designer isn't the person at the end of the day sitting down and producing all the clothes. You know what I'm saying? Obviously the creative director isn't the one sitting down and producing all the clothes. So I think outsourcing that, I guess, you know what I'm saying, literally just getting a manufacturer to make the clothes, it will allow for not only me to have a lot more time creatively, but it will just allow for a better flow through projects because, like I said, now I make this pair, send it off to the manufacturer, they're working on that pair, but now I'm still working on another pair instead of I think of this pair, I sketch it up, and now I'm making it, and I can only work on that pair because I'm also still making that pair. And then now we have to transition into now we have multiple things working at once because of the manufacturer. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that will help with a lot of the creative flow. I think that will help with a lot of the breaks in between the drops. I think that will help with just getting more product out, getting more eyes on our shit. Because again, like I can only make so much. I can only spend so much time of my time because I do work as well. Like I can only spend so much of my time making shit. I can only make, you know what I'm saying, 4 or 5 pairs or whatever it be for a drop. You know what I'm saying? So obviously, sourcing out to manufacturer, getting those bulk pickup or getting those bulks in, those bulk orders in, that will take my shit a long way. Yeah, so that's pretty much everything on why we're restarting. Other than the fact that I do want to come back and I do want to create like a cohesive brand image in things. Like I want people to look at a piece of mine and be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? I know that's that shit. Like I know that's that Noon in August. I know that's Quinn. I know that's he made that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I also want to make other pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like tees. I want to make accessories in the future. Like belts, hats and shit, bags and shit. I want to do all that. I want everything to have like a cohesive feel to it. I want everything to feel like a Noon in August piece, and that's the reason that it didn't necessarily take me so long to come up with, but that's the reason that I chose the name Noon in August because I wanted a name that like invokes somebody to like invokes a feeling, like it invokes that feeling of like literally it's noon in the middle of August, you know what I'm saying, the sun beaming, you know what I'm saying, you out cooling with your friends or something, or like, you know what I'm saying, or you know when it's cooler towards the end of August, you know what I'm saying, you got that nice little fall breeze, you can tell fall about to start, you know what I'm saying, shit like that. Like I want to invoke a feeling with my brand, so that's why I want to take that time to think about my shit. Oh yeah, that's pretty much all the reason why I want to be restarting, because I want to work with the manufacturer, and obviously that's gonna take time to establish. And I want to like create my own denim. I want to create my own fit for the denim, so that's gonna take a while to figure out. I want to create my own branding. Like I want to go like rethink all my branding shit, and I also want to get like the business shit side of shit figured out, because I still need to get an LLC. I don't have an LLC. Like I need to get all that shit figured out. So yeah, that's pretty much all the reasons I'm taking my time to step aside, and then hopefully when I restart shit and I come back, or when I do restart shit, I'll come back with a vision in mind, and we'll really knock out that vision. Now I'm gonna go over some of the influences that I guess kind of have always been there, but I'm gonna be I guess specifically pulling from going forward. So first off, I'm gonna start with House of Airs. This one and the next one, mainly just off of their product offering and their quality. Those are the main two things that I'm going to be taking inspiration from moving forward. I really like these tees, and I really like the build on these tees. I think I would want to do something similar, but just a bit smaller in the sleeves and whatnot. And then obviously like my own design. These hoodies, I really want to do something like these hoodies. Obviously I would do my own shape and everything for the hoodies. Like I would figure out what I like. But I love this embroidery design. So I would definitely take that embroidery idea, and come up with my own imagery, come up with my own here, there, blah, 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 whatever. Their hoodies, in terms of the quality and their embroidery and like this overall just look and feel, I really fuck with this. And then their tees, in terms of the shape of their tees, and again their quality, look and feel, and then their denim. So this is also another thing. I want to do something embroidered. I don't know if I would go this crazy because I don't know how expensive it is to manufacture some shit like that, but I know that I want to do something embroidery, denim, something like this. So I'm saying, you see how they have this cohesive. Scrolling through their page, they have this cohesive imagery, this cohesive feel. Everything feels like a House of Ayers piece. You know what I'm saying? I want all of my pieces to feel like a Noonan August piece, but I don't want to like just rip from them specifically. But I do really want this little lavender hoodie. That shit looks nice as fuck. Fuck, that shit looks nice as hell. So the next, in terms of pieces, pieces and cohesive brand imagery, we got Bad Son. They're just really good at these campaigns, and they're really good. You can see like they have this cohesive texture and feel to their campaigns, and I do really like these tees. I know I also want to do something like this in terms of playing with this the seams, and then having like different colors on again here, playing with these seams on the tees and having different colors on the outline or whatever it may be. But yeah, you see how everything feels like a Bad Son piece. And then once we even get into their campaigns, everything feels like a Bad Son campaign. The next two are kind of, again, in terms of their campaign quality. I really like Adidem Asterix. In terms of the quality of their films, I want my stuff to have this same feel. Seventh, in terms of their quality of their campaign. And so Seventh is like really like not necessarily what I want to model my brand after, but they just like, I feel like they nail design language so well, and they do it so by still making such simple pieces and taking inspiration from them, just mainly in terms of the feel of their campaigns. They feel like organic, not performative. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, they just feel like they just went out and they just shot some shit, and I love that. I love that. I love that. To get into the next influence, so they're doing this thing where basically they're releasing a short film along with the collection. So they're kind of like, if I mean, I don't know, they just started doing this, you know what I'm saying? But if this goes where I think it's gonna go, because what I would like to do in my mind is like, yeah, I think it would be really cool to release a short film. Like, I really fuck with this idea, and I've had this idea before they did it, so I'm mad that they did it, that they got to it before me. But I think it would be really cool to do a short film that ties in with the clothes and everything, and release that short film as the collection releases. So like release, and I think that's what they're doing here. I'd like release a tee, and then with that tee you get this part of the story, you know, and then you get the denim, and then now another part of the film. So then once you like, you know what I'm saying, once the whole collection is released, say it's like 8 pieces or something, and then now you like watch all those films together, you know what I'm saying, it creates a whole story with all the films, and then all the pieces are tied into the film. I think that would be really cool to do. That would be like a super big project, and it's not something that I'm gonna like come out the gate doing, but it is something that I have in mind. It is something that I think would be really cool to do, and it is like something that I do really want to get to in the future. So lastly, you'll obviously notice a big difference, and this is what I'm saying here. Like how I said, I don't want everything to be super big, super campaign focused. That's what I was trying to do with pretty much everything before this. Was I was trying to have very super thought out campaigns and everything. And though, again, like I said, that is what I want to do, and I hope that as my brand grows, it'll only facilitate that and make that easier for that. You know what I'm saying? But I want to. This is basically where I want to start from. I'm pretty sure they just make everything in house, and they just have all these people come through and just fucking try the pants on and take pictures, and like this is their promotion, this is their marketing, and this is how they do their shit. And then this is kind of where I want to reference to start from. Basically, just kind of like showing the process of, you know what I'm saying, creating this community, getting people in the jeans and shit. I might basically, like, not even gonna lie, just copy this entire formula, going up this, like, literally just being focused on only solely basically just showing off the denim, because that's what I'm saying. I've been following them for I think a year now, and this is the same denim. Like this shit is from a year ago, I think. Yeah, June 10th, 2023. I can't even be mad at it because it's all good, and you can tell like they've grown. I remember when I followed them, I think they had like 6,000, 5,000 followers, some shit, and they've been promoting the same exact pair for over a year, and they've grown that much. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just showing me, like, I just gotta stick to it, and I just gotta keep going. So that's it in terms of all the influences, and in terms of where I want to take my brand going forward. So y'all see kind of like the overarching idea with the first couple influences, like we want to just create this very cohesive brand image. But then y'all see with this last image, we want to start out just by making super organic content that doesn't feel forced, that doesn't feel super thought out, that doesn't feel like really just that isn't super thought out. That just is like we just made some jeans and now we trying to promote them, and eventually like we're gonna take the step. You know what I'm saying? Just take it step by. Now I'm gonna get into the last section, which is basically just I'm gonna just build a smooth little mood board, and try and just put together some things that convey the feeling I want to go for the brand overall. And yeah, all right, y'all. So I'm on this thing called Cosmos. Honestly, if you like Pinterest, just check out Cosmos. It's literally just like a curated Pinterest without as much ads, and I hate the fucking ads on Pinterest. Pinterest is always trying to sell you some shit. I hate that shit. Basically, I'm just gonna make a board of just some images that kind of, again, convey the feeling that I'm going for. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna really focus on necessarily like saying this image is Noonan August, or this image is I will try to recreate this image through the brand sometime in the future. I'm just gonna look for some cool shit that looks cool, that feels like what I want it to feel like. You know what I'm saying? Let's wrap this up real quick. So here's the board in its glory, and that's what I'm saying. You see, there's a lot of contrasting colors and everything going on here, but I feel like it still conveys that same feeling almost. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all kind of contrasting itself, but it all kind of feels the same. Go ahead and wrap this video up. This is gonna be the first video of I don't know how many part series, but basically just the building my brand back up. Basically from nothing, because I'm probably gonna delete my Instagram because that Instagram account is dead. So I'm probably gonna restart. So basically we're gonna be going from scratch, even though yes I have like done all this shit in the past, and I do kind of have basically like some connections to get to where I need to get to and to do the things that I need to do. So it's not like I'm completely starting from scratch, but in my mind I am, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, so this will be the first video in that series. The next video I'll actually be going over like making the tech packs for the first couple pieces, the actual pieces that I want to make, the ideas that I have for stuff, making mock-ups and stuff like that, and probably getting it sent off to the manufacturer. But that's kind of the steps that I'll be taking after this video, now that we have all like kind of just the initial planning stages done. I'll actually be taking those steps to get clothes made. And then obviously like further down the line, I'll take y'all through obviously all the campaigns and everything as I have in the past. And I'm just gonna show y'all everything. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video of me just literally laying everything out there. In the next video there will be some more like actual action and stuff. We'll be actually doing shit. It'll be a little bit more interesting. But yeah, that's enough talking for me, man. Again, I hope y'all enjoy the series. Definitely subscribe, I guess, if y'all interested to see where it goes. And yeah, thank you for watching.